Hey guys, we're dropping some greatest hits episodes for the next few weeks, some that we think will resonate with this time of year. First one up is when we dropped Tegan off for college. It was the week after we got back. So there will be tears, there will be some laughter, and some great memories from 2 years ago. We hope that you enjoy this episode of The Loud Quiet.
Welcome to The Loud Quiet. I'm Rick.
And I'm Clancy. We're so glad you've chosen to join us again for episode 2. We just want to thank our listeners so much for all the love and the support. We were truly overwhelmed by the amount of downloads, positive comments, just interest in what we've decided to do. And we really, really appreciate y'all. We appreciate all the shares, all the likes. Just thank you so much for coming on this journey with us.
Yeah, it has been truly overwhelming to see the support there. There's a way, though, that we want you to be able to engage with us, because this journey that we're on is not something that's just Clancy and me. We're trying to figure it out from learning from others. And so we'd love to hear from you. So send us an email at theloudquietpod@gmail.com. You can also, on Spotify, there's now a way that you can kind of do a Q&A. So I've got a question sitting out there on Spotify where it just asks, hey, what's a question that you have about the empty nest? What's a tip that you have about the empty nest? And we'd love to get that into the show. So please go out there to Spotify, hit us up on Facebook, DM us there, whatever it is, bring it in and send us a message so that we can make this actually not just two people talking to each other and to their cat, but rather a conversation with the empty nest community.
Yes, because we know, and I've seen all over Facebook this week, the amount of our friends that are going through the exact same thing. I love seeing all the posts of dropping the kids off at college, and so we know that there are a lot of us going through it. There are a lot of us who have already been through it. We have some wiser people out there listening, and we would love to hear tips from how they've been doing it for the last 20 plus years. So yes, please feel free to hit us up.
Because we're not the experts.
No. As we said in our first episode, we are not professionals. So which brings us to our second episode, which if you saw the title this week, we titled it Blue Bags, Big Tears, and Bright Futures. If anyone has taken kids to college in the past, actually, I don't know how many years ago, but 4 years ago when we were taking ours for his freshman year, I guess it was 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah.
3 years ago. I saw these blue IKEA bags, and here they are on the screen. If you're tuning in on Spotify or YouTube TV, or no, sorry, just YouTube.
Yep.
Whoops.
We're not on YouTube TV
Not yet.
We're
Not
just
yet.
a couple of
We don't have
knuckleheads
our
telling
channel,
stories.
yeah.
So
These bags are awesome. If you have a kid who is about to go off to college, if you're moving across country, the amount of stuff that you can put in these bags and pile them into your car. Tanner drove back solo this year. He had 5 IKEA bags full. Tegan had 5 IKEA bags full. He had a set of golf clubs. I mean, it all fit in his car, and they are the best invention in the world.
And I know it sounds like we're doing an IKEA sponsorship. I promise that hasn't happened. It'd be nifty if it were, but no. And what I love is you can actually check them on a plane too.
Yes,
So
yes. Tanner still has his original ones from his freshman year, and they have, traveled back and forth by plane. He brings his dirty laundry home in them whenever he comes home.
Wait,
yes.
so kids will bring their dirty laundry home?
Sure. But yes, they really are. And I have started, they're like $5, and I've started giving them along with another gift to each of when I do graduation gifts.
Oh, you're giving our secret out.
I know,
We'll
but
give away
they're-
tips, but we don't want to give away the secrets.
But they are amazing. So I can't recommend them
Clearly.
more.
Yes. Big fans of those. But you know what I think we're doing here? I think we're just avoiding telling the stories that we experienced this weekend, because it is now okay, what day is it? Today's Wednesday.
Yes.
And we got back on Monday. This was after a Thursday flight to Arizona. Tanner left on Tuesday, the prior one, but either way, it was an extended weekend. And that's now 2 days here in the empty home. But there was a lot that happened this weekend.
Yes, there was. And I have my tissue. And for those of my listeners who watch The Housewives, I have formed it into my Candace triangle. So those of you who know will know. I'm hoping I can hold it together. I'm going to try. I did break down yesterday when I opened the pantry and saw her ramen in there that she didn't finish before she left. But I've kept myself busy these past couple of days. And so
that has been a key part of it. And I maybe in a future one, we'll talk about being here. I definitely want to talk about the weekend that we were experiencing. It has been, though, it's been weird what the triggers for tears have been. And it was ramen. For me, it was a parking lot. I'm driving Tegan's car right now, and she has a bunch of her little stuffed crap or plastic crap in there. And yeah, I'm suddenly seeing that and being like, the horse fell off. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Tegan's horse. And I can't remember the name of all her toys or anything like that. But
what is the horse's name? I can't remember.
Don't know.
I think it's Wells Fargo. That's a totally different
Not brought
story.
to you by Wells Fargo again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we flew out there, and the whole, you know what, for me, it was almost like we were on a treadmill or one of those moving sidewalks, because that's what it just felt like. You could never stop. Like, it was just step after step that got you closer and closer and closer to the moment. And there were moments of greatness, moments of not so greatness. There was just the spirit of inevitability the whole weekend that I felt the entire time.
Well, and to me, and I was telling someone this, it almost felt like we were just going on a trip, because all of her stuff was gone with Tanner.
Yeah.
We each just had our carry-on bag, and that was it. So it really felt like we were just going to
Let's go to
Arizona
for a weekend. Yeah.
Oh, yes, both of our kids are in Arizona,
We should say that, yes.
which is totally
Surreal.
yes.
We're Texan. We've been here. So, yeah, that's right. I guess folks don't know that. We've got our youngest at University of Arizona. Our oldest is at Arizona State.
Yes. So rival schools in a different state, 16 hours away. So, yes.
They moved
Totally.
to be closer to each other and as far away from us. Maybe we should explore that.
But it really just felt like, we're just, going on vacation. And it was a 4-day of high highs, low lows, some moments of, oh no, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, luckily, thank you, Southwest Airlines.
Oh, gosh.
Again, not a sponsor.
Not brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
But everything was on time. Tegan was very concerned about just getting there. No delays, no cancellations, and everything went totally smooth.
Which should have been our first sign that this wasn't a normal weekend. That it wasn't a normal trip, because we seem to have cancellations out the wazoo. Yeah, it wasn't, because what did we do that first night? Oh, we found some local burger shop to go have burgers. We checked in a hotel. We were just kind of enjoying a vacation there.
We shopped.
After burgers.
Yes.
After burgers.
We started
to
the
burgers.
shopping.
How many Targets and how many Walmarts did we go to in one town?
In Tucson, I think we went to 3 Targets and 4 Walmarts.
Which is nearly 100% of the Targets and Walmarts.
And also an at-home, a Asian market, and
Didn't we? I think
Best
we tried
Buy.
Best Buy.
And Bath and Body in the mall. So yeah, I think we had everything, which the Tucson Mall, if you want to take a trip down memory lane, if anyone grew up in the
let's call it the 80s.
80s, especially, it felt like I was walking into Collin Creek Mall in Plano, if you know what that is, or the one
Highland Mall, Barton Creek. I was expecting to see a Bugle Boy and a what was the record store? Oh, now I'm brain farting the record store that was always in there. It wasn't Sound Warehouse, but it was another one.
It really was like Contempo, Casual would have been in there.
Units.
I don't know if you know it's had a Benetton there.
Benetton.
Give it a
There it
Benetton.
So again, we're avoiding
Yeah.
the stories, the feelings that we had. But I think an element of that first night, it still kind of felt unreal. Yes, we shopped and we shopped late, and it was that, but it still wasn't the day of shopping, you know? And so we get up that next day, and I think you went down to the gym. I may have gone for a walk through the neighborhood that time, but then eat breakfast, and then it was go. And it was, here is a tip. If you're actually dropping kids off to school, don't choose the store that's right next to the campus.
Yes.
Find the one that's away from campus, because one is not crowded and it actually has items. It's amazing how quickly these places get sold out. And that was actually kind of fun. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but watching her pick out stuff for her room, and this rug or that frame or this light or that, even getting a succulent that she was able to give to her roommate. That was something that was fun.
It was fun. And because we were coming from further out of state and had to take a plane, we couldn't pack everything. You know, I knew she was going to need more storage things. So yes, we did have to go and buy. And that's another tip. If you are doing something like that, make sure you rent some sort of SUV, because
Jeez,
you will
there's
not be
no
able
way.
to, yeah.
No way.
So, yeah, so no, that was a good day. We went to campus. We went to the bookstore.
Which is required. I think every parent, every visit,
Mm-hmm.
there's actually a spending minimum that if you don't meet that, they add it to your tuition bill. So you have to go to the bookstore and buy stuff.
Yeah, we got to see her dorm, because when we did the tour, she hadn't decided where she was going to go. So we really didn't pay attention all that much to the dorms or those kind of things. So we got to see her dorm. So no, that was a good day. Tanner drove from Phoenix and met us that night.
That was that night. Yep.
And we got to meet the roommate and her parents. Lovely people.
Yeah,
very, very happy with how they ended up together.
And then we went to dinner with the
Yeah.
family, and that was, I don't think we have a picture of that. We may share that, but that was, it was just fun. You worry about that because, yes, the kids have met each other online. They've talked a little bit about with each other, but you don't really know. And I guess technically we still don't know. There's going to be a ton of discovery.
Yeah.
What I knew about my roommate in the first week is not what I knew about my roommate by the end of the year. Different story, different time, won't be on the record.
And my roommate was my, best friend in high school. And, we just knew that we were going to room together. So, yeah, it's really different now how these kids find their roommates, especially if they're going to schools like both of our kids who know
Right.
no
She doesn't know
one
anybody.
at either one of their schools.
And that's one of the big worries. So all the things that we worry about as a parent, that we want our kids to go into college, we want our kids to enjoy college, we want them to thrive in college. Well, that's a specific thing that you worry about is, will they meet people? Will they, and when you're sending your child that far away, and by choice, we didn't send her, she chose to go that far away, but she purposely went a place she knew no one. And that opportunity to meet a ton of people, well, that's taking somebody out of a comfort zone that, maybe we don't necessarily see in their high school experience.
Yeah.
And so you're hoping they do that in their college experience.
And you just pray and hope that their roommate's not a psycho.
Which,
so far, so good.
let's flip that, though. They're praying and hoping
Yeah,
that Tegan's
yeah.
not a psycho as well. So, so, again, so far,
Yeah.
so good. Yeah, but that almost, and that reinforced that it was a vacation. Yeah, we did some shopping, we did all kinds of stuff, but when Tanner comes down, we're just meeting people, we're having some dinner, we're having some margaritas and some actually pretty darn good Tucson Mexican food.
It's very good.
stuff there.
Yeah. We have lots of Tucson recommendation for restaurants if anyone needs them, because we like to find unique, different places. Now, the roommate's parents picked this, and it was excellent, but we ate at some really good.
Yeah.
We had some really good food this.
Yeah, this is
last
one
4
that had
days.
been around 100 years. El Charro
Yeah.
downtown. It's a
Yeah,
great place.
Very good. Yeah.
It still felt, because then we all went back to the hotel. Tanner's with us. Actually, no. What did
Oh,
we do?
no, we-
We dropped Tegan. This will show the difference between our two kids. Tegan's worn out, and all of us are worn out. But it's 8 o'clock, and yes, to our bodies, it's 10 o'clock. Well, what do? Tanner, Clancy, and I are like, I still want to go out and get another drink. So we found a local pub and had a pint there and enjoyed spending time with Tanner. I know a lot of what we're talking about now is Tegan. He too is being dropped at a school, and we're leaving him for his senior year.
And Tegan, like you said, they're just different kids. She has to recharge by being by herself, whereas Tanner recharges by being with 500 people. So
and we were only two.
Nonstop, yes. So,
but he was happy to have his beer paid for, so that always is good.
Yeah.
So we came back, and then it's Saturday,
and her move-in time was so late early afternoon. But we were getting up at the crack of dawn because to our bodies it was 2 hours later than what it was. So we're just sitting there. It was like just counting down the clock.
Back to that not treadmill, but that moving sidewalk where it's just taking you to that moment. That reinforced it even more for me. And I don't know that I thought about it in the moment, but I knew that it was just this march towards something that I clearly want, but it's a march towards something that my emotions don't clearly want. And that's sitting around that morning.
I know. It was torturous for me. I mean, luckily, yes, you went and walked, I went down and did stuff in the gym, but I mean, I was just like, let's get this show on the road. We got it, because your emotions are just sitting there, and that it was just it was torture.
So then we go to lunch. And again, everything that we want for our child is to hear how positive things are, how wonderful things are, and how awesome they are. So this was when we just needed to eat early, right? We were eating at like 10:50, 11 o'clock because you needed to move in at noon and all that kind of stuff. Well, we're going through the line, and the guy goes, "Oh, hey, University of Arizona, yeah, oh yeah, no, I think Tegan's the one who actually spoke. I'm moving in today. Oh yeah, well, Tucson sucks."
Yeah. You're going to like the university, but this town sucks. Yeah. And Tanner's going,
Yeah, well, of course, the rival is saying that. But then I'm like, wait, no, what are you doing? You can't say that to the movement. Tucson sucks. Yeah.
And I will say, we enjoyed our time there. Yeah, it was
beautiful
great.
Place.
Yes.
Ringed with mountains, the desert style. I love it out there.
Yes.
So,
but
that's not what you want to hear. And well, okay.
As you're going to move in, get your key and move into the dorm.
Jeez.
Yay. So, that was a little, but so, we started moving. Like I said, it was really different with a girl. I don't think it took us as long to do Tanner's move in.
Can I say something before we get to the move in? I find that it's the quiet moments that I start to feel it. And it was weird that I wasn't necessarily tear-filled later, but as we're driving to the dorm on whatever Broadway, whatever street that was, I'm starting to get upset. Nobody's really talking in the car.
It was just you and me. Because she was with Tanner.
She was with Tanner. That's right.
Yeah, so she wasn't even in the car.
So she's not even in the car. I'm still in my vacation to Tucson, and it's starting to hit me. And I feel like some bad English song came on. So then you get the '80s slow dance sadness too, and it was really hard just driving to the dorm to realize this is the youngest.
Yeah,
she's gone.
And then you flip into go mode. Yeah, I mean, it was,
Okay, so you have 30 minutes to get the box upstairs. Well, we have so much stuff. We got to get the bin.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they're going to ticket us if we stay for more than 30 minutes. Like, everything was 30 minutes. So set the alarm, get your badge, get your running, and where's the elevator? All that kind of stuff. Tanner and I are running back. Thank God Tanner was there.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's that hectic mode. I don't think we have a picture of it, but the explosion in the hallway.
Yeah.
Thank God we were moving in early.
And yes, that was a bonus.
Explosion of stuff, I should probably say, not literal explosion.
That was a bonus, getting to move in, because she chose to do an optional camp, freshman camp. Getting to move in early, I mean, we had so much space in the hallways. They could build their shelves. They could put together their, everything that we needed to put together. We could unload slowly from the hallway into the room, because there was, only a handful of people moving in our hall. So that was awesome. So,
it took a long time.
We were there. It was, we got there at, 12:45, at 6:45, and we still weren't completely done because we had a list of stuff that we needed to get the next day. It was, we got to go get something to eat because this is when the first breakdown happened. So
I want to talk about moving in just a little bit when we were going in, because one thing that I would say, map out all of your electronics and determine how many cords and extension cords you need. Part of the reason that we went to Target, Walmart, Best Buy as many times as we did is all of the stupid extension cords that we had to buy, because you never know how many things. I mean, it's insane.
I mean, there were tons of plugs in that room, but yeah, when you're trying to plug in, and lamps and chargers, and I mean, it's a lot of.
And so I was laughing about that because I was thinking about what I plugged in my freshman dorm, and I think it was a lamp.
Yeah. Probably an alarm clock and a TV.
I didn't have a TV.
Well, we had a TV in ours, so. But yeah.
Cue up the Vivaldi.
Let's see. It probably weighed 80 pounds, and it was, barely.
I bet it cost more than the TV that Tanner just told us that he bought today.
Probably so. But yeah, I mean, we didn't have,
I bet you're right. It was an alarm clock and a lamp.
Because your phone plugged into the phone jack. You didn't need a plug for your phone. So totally different. I don't think I had a power strip in my dorm room.
Yeah, and I only looked at Pinterest a little bit my freshman year to see how I wanted to design my freshman room.
Yeah. I will say, my dad did bring my roommate and I a little, because at that time he was working for the furniture side of Penny's company that they had bought. So he brought us a little magnetic with all the shapes of our bed, and so we could try to figure out how to lay out the room. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It didn't matter.
Wait. That's so dad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a dad thing to do, and I felt like I drew that out when we finally got to the room.
Then them trying to get the carpet, because that's when you would buy your rugs at the camp. Remember, there would be like someone out there with the truck with the rugs that didn't fit the room size. So here's the two dads trying to cut. Oh yeah, there's
those carpet enders, because the dude's selling it out of the back of the truck. Which, again, we bought stuff out of the back of the truck, but it was, I can't remember the term, but it was the end of the roll that they couldn't sell, so you'd get all the carpet ends. Oh jeez. So we were exhausted. I mean, just ripped tired, and so we knew Tegan had this request. I want to go to a place that just has a bunch of choices. She didn't have really a style. So we found some place that looked kind of cool in downtown Tucson, which is only a few minutes away. And I'm driving, and it got kind of quiet.
Yeah, and it actually started up in her dorm room, though.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yes, I think you were out in the hallway, and I turned around, and she was bawling, and I was like, oh no. And I was like, so then of course I started bawling, and I'm like, what's wrong, and she couldn't express what was wrong. And I said, let's go get food, you're tired, it's been a long day, there's been, let's just go. So that's when we got in the car, and yes, that's when I turned around again, and I was like,
got so quiet
because she was crying again. And finally she said, I miss my cat. And we said, okay, let's get
You said that a lot tamer than she did. Yeah. No, it was, I miss my cat.
I know. But we got some food. She was fine. But later that night, after we had dropped her back off, I told you, I thought she was going to say, I want to go back home.
Yeah.
Like, I really had that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be one of those moms that posts on the college Facebook page, my daughter said she doesn't want to stay. I mean, I really, and I knew in my heart that that's not what she was feeling.
But you're feeling that because you see her.
Yes, yeah. She was so upset, and so luckily.
It was good that, like, the meal was really, like, that part was good to have that meal because it did change things. We were able to laugh again. Yes. We were able to
And while we were
talk.
yes, and while we were sitting there, her roommate texted her and said, "Hey, let's do this tonight."
That's right.
And so
Let's binge
they
watch
had-
some
yeah,
movie or
something.
some
Yeah.
show.
So we were like, great. We took her back. You know, we went back to our hotel by ourselves, left her, you know, to spend the night in her dorm for the first night. And
That was weird.
yeah.
When you walk away from your kid at the dorm. Now, exhaustion is an incredible what's the word I'm looking for? Medicator. like it's sort of,
You're just
okay,
so wiped.
I'll
yeah.
see you, Tegan. I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
Just
you're,
go.
You're just so physically and emotionally just
Yeah.
wiped out. And I forgot the thing that made us feel when we got back to drop her off at the dorm.
Yeah.
That's when she walked up and there was a girl trying to figure out how to use her ID to get into the dorm. And so we saw Tegan walk up and was like, "Oh, you do it like this." And they walked up together. She lives on her hall. She met her. You know, we were like, you could just breathe a sigh of relief
That moment.
she's going to be okay.
Yeah, that moment where you see your kid, zero interaction. I'd like to say we're not a very hands-on parenting kind of group. But she gets out of the car, she's gone, and she approaches her independently. And it could have been, okay, here's how you do it. Bye. Or not even bye, just walk by her. But it was immediately they walked together. And you saw that we're sitting in the car. You can't hear anything. And you see them walking together and talking. That wave of peace just comes over you because that's what you want. You know your child has ripped themselves out of their entire support network, and you're praying that they build a new one, and they're going to have to do it on their own because there's plenty of parents that try to do that for their kids. It's ridiculous. We won't. And it wouldn't work anyway, but to see her do it, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we knew, hey, we're not leaving her for good. We'll see her tomorrow
Yeah.
at this, just regular old bear down camp breakfast, right? There's nothing emotional to discover there. No.
And,
That was, of course,
yeah.
after shopping.
oh, we got up early and had to go run and get a couple of things. But,
When does Lowe's open?
yeah.
That's what I was looking at.
But the bear down brunch was great. That's the U of A motto is bear down. Has nothing to it. They're the Wildcats, so it has nothing to do with their
There's a
mascot.
story.
But there's a story. Yes.
Google it.
But yeah. So, very well done. She had already told us so many stories about, she and her roommate walked around and explored and, so that was great. The brunch was great. They got into it's basically like a Pine Cove or a Sky Ranch for the week is what.
It's a summer camp.
It's
Like
just
if you've been a sleepaway camp, any brand,
Yeah.
that's what it felt like. Now the kids are still sleeping in their dorms.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere. They used to go somewhere. COVID stopped that. It was, even though the woman's presentation, the student, you just got this sense of security, how it was the student affairs office or something, support
She's
student.
the dean of students.
Dean of students, but her specific the assistants or whatever it was, how many resources they have available. And the one that got Tegan so excited was one day a week they bring in puppies. Okay, well, and some therapy animals and that sort of stuff. And then she was excited about that. And then she said, "Oh, and we also bring a cat that's so fat that we have to wheel him in a stroller."
Yes.
And Tegan said, "What?"
Yeah.
And Clancy's, "Oh, when do I get to go see the fat cat
I
in the
said,
stroller?"
when you see that cat in the stroller, you better send us all a picture. But yeah, no, it was very well done. They got their group. She was so excited about the group that she got in.
Popped right up
Yep,
and went straight to
yep.
it.
And
Things that we didn't necessarily see in high school and younger Tegan. She was
Yes.
embracing the new, and
Well,
that's what you want.
And this is so Tegan. When she opened the folder and she said, "There's a schedule for the week." That is her. She's been so regimented her entire
Right.
with competitive cheer,
Yeah.
with drill team. She's so used to having routine schedule. And that was what she said that morning. She said, "I think I was upset because I didn't know what I was going to do when I got back to my room because I didn't have an activity planned for that evening."
Yeah.
So she knows that she craves that. But so they go off in their groups. And then
We'd only been told, set this up, we'd only been told it was going to be a parent information
Yes.
session. That's what was on the agenda.
yeah.
And I even said to Clancy, I've sat in enough parent information sessions in my life. Do you want to go leave, get a cup of coffee, walk around campus? And no, of course we didn't do that. So,
Yeah. So they say, all right, parents, open the envelope on your table.
it had said do not open.
Yes,
We
so-
thought it was going to be
yes.
financial aid crap.
So we opened it up and it was blank paper and envelopes. And they're like, this is your time to write a letter to your child, which I had already done and for both of them and put in their suitcases, but pat me on the back.
Cue the
So-
trumpets and smug music here.
So, you know, and they were walking around with tissue boxes and Tegan's
Well,
roommate's
we haven't
dad.
said what it was to
You
write
had to
a
write
letter.
a letter to your kid, yeah, and that they were going to give to them at the end of this week of camp. Just
The kids didn't know about it.
No,
Like
yeah.
they thought we were at some, and we were like, well, what do we tell them? So we
Yeah.
said they didn't ask, but it was going to be financial aid.
But I loved when Tegan's roommate's dad got back to the table. He said, "There's like 4 big dads in the bathroom crying," and Rick said, "I stood it here at the table. I got nothing to hide." So
I don't know if it's second child or it's just who I am, but I'm not much of a baller, but I am definitely tears running down my face as I'm writing this letter, and I feel it in my throat right now. Well, there's the pressure of how do I communicate all the love and the guidance and the emotions that you feel in this tiny little bit of time, and just this, you want it to be special and meaningful, and it's improv and everything.
and you don't want to forget something.
Yeah.
You know, I already had mentally in my head everything I
gosh.
was going to say to her
Yeah.
when we left. But yeah, it's just, again, those emotions are they're just simmering. They're just simmering right here, like right up in your throat. And you just know that in about an hour and a half, they're just going to release, because that's when you're going to be hugging her and walking away.
Yeah. And you feel it.
So, yeah. So, yeah, that was great. Tegan came back in, had an awesome time. So then,
And so this is the highs and lows. The emotion that we feel as parents, I think a lot of times is rooted in the loss that you have of the past and fear of the future. We can't change the loss of the past. That's you grieve for that. But that fear of the future feeds that emotion too. And then when your kid comes bounding back and going, oh my gosh, we met all these people and I bonded with this girl and she's got I was asked for her number and I started to get the number out and I had a picture of my cat and all that. And you hear these stories and it makes the fear part of the loss does not go away, but the fear starts to subside. And you see the joy that your kid has, not the anxiety that your kid has, but the joy that they have of what they're about to experience. And you realize, that's what I want as a parent, is that joy for my kid.
Yeah, and that's what, so then we were on our high. This is, for those of you who are watching, a picture of us after her brunch and on our way to say goodbye.
And she's bubbly.
Yeah,
I mean,
she was so excited.
is,
Yeah, and I mean, I love this picture because their campuses are beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I would want to go to school out there. It is
I'm thinking about getting a
amazing.
job out there. Just
I mean, it is, both ASU and U of A have just gorgeous campuses. So,
and
so
it was 100 gabillion degrees, and yet it still felt great. So
yeah, but it was
Oh,
cooler.
that's right. It was
It was
nicer this
cooler
time.
there than it was here. So no, we had awesome weather.
We
but
did.
So yeah, so now it was time to say goodbye, and that was I said, do you want us, we walked back to her dorm room. I said, do you want to come say goodbye to us at the car, or do you want to come? And she said, no, in the hallway. And then everyone broke down. And yeah.
Yeah, I started to walk away with my back to her, because that's what you do. You turn away and you walk away. And then I realized, and I think I nudged you. I think we both did it. And we turned around and walked backwards. And
Well,
I
because
will not forget that image of walking away from her, because it's the reverse
Of what we did with Tanner, yes.
He walked away from us. He was in the parking garage. He walked away from the car. And I have that, and maybe it's not healthy, but I still have that image in my mind of him walking, and then he goes down the stairs, and he's actually kind of backlit. So it's like he's going into some ether Well, Tegan was at her room, so we walk away.
Yeah.
And I mean, I will never forget that.
Yeah.
She's crying. And then we turn the corner. And that's it.
Got in our car to drive to Phoenix.
Now, I'll tell you, we sat there for a
We
bit.
did. We prayed for Tegan.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What'd you say
you
to me?
prayed for Tegan. I said, I can't.
I'd like to do a little prayer. I'd like to bathe her in some prayer. And she goes, as long as you do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I could not speak.
Well, it wasn't like I was real great
No, right.
on an org. Yeah, and I think that is one thing that was made this weird. So like we could stop right here, and that was everything about that part of it. That's the moment that we became empty nesters. Then we decided to take an hour and a half trip to go see our son in Tempe because he was moving in the next day, and it just makes sense because the two schools are right next to each other. Yeah. We had dinner with him. That was another part of it that just made it feel a little different in that, hey, now we're off and running.
It gave a little buffer, I guess, almost.
Certainly,
than just because with Tanner, we got on the plane and left and bawled on the plane and bawled in the airport. And
After the dust storm was over.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. If you've ever sat through a
dust storm in
Arizona
a plane.
haboob,
She's not being naughty. They're called
they're
haboobs.
called haboobs, and they are crazy.
Yeah.
But so that was different. It kind of gave a nice. Made it a little less harsh.
It made it a little less harsh. And you know what it did to me? It reminded me, we didn't have that with Tanner. We just went back. We didn't know what it was like to have a college kid. Now we still had Tegan at home. By going to see Tanner, it reminded me that this is okay. This is what you want. Tanner's a thriving senior who actually doesn't care if we help him move in or not. And he was thankful that we were there, and we took him to dinner and to a bar and that sort of stuff. What was that? Was
at Uncle Sal's.
That was Uncle Sal's.
Excellent restaurant if you're in.
And a little
is it
tie
in
to one of your
Scottsdale?
shows. It's Scottsdale.
Scottsdale, yeah.
Uncle Sal's.
Yeah, but yeah, that really kind of softened the blow a little bit, and he didn't need our help moving in. We wanted to see his place, and we did the next morning. He did give us a Target list that we went, and because when I got there, I said, "You don't have any toilet paper." Or paper towels.
What?
Can y'all go to Target? I said, yes. And then while we're at Target, we proceed to get it. Can you get this too? Yeah. So that it was nice. And getting to see his roommates from freshman year are all living back together again senior year. And it's a great group of boys. They've remained friends. And Tanner has lived with one of them every year. But great group of kids. Their townhome is amazing. It just makes you feel good to know that, yes, like you said, she's going to be okay.
Yeah.
He's,
You just said it right
thriving.
there. He's living with the same guys that he met
Yeah.
freshman year. She may be building lifelong relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I tell my story. I had a freshman roommate that I probably wasn't going to live with again.
Mm-hmm.
Is she still? But I met lifelong friends that I just saw last week, or what? Not last week, 2-3 weeks ago. She's going to experience that same thing.
Yes.
And seeing him help with that as well. It didn't. It did. So when we did say bye to him, though, it wasn't as emotional because we've said bye to him enough times. But it was at the airport. Mm-hmm. That I was like, we'd had plenty to eat, plenty to drink. Our bodies were probably done with any food and bevies, and yet I still made sure that there was something poured for me there at the lounge while we waited. It was weird getting on that plane, knowing that we're not going home on a temporary thing. This is the it.
Yes. And it was the best thing that you can get is a text from your child that you've just left your baby saying, "Oh my gosh, we had so much fun last night." Almost every single one of her texts, which this is also a child who
doesn't text.
I
don't know who the.
Yeah.
Are we sure?
I know,
Actually,
yeah, that someone doesn't.
Somebody
got
stole
her phone,
Tegan's phone.
yeah.
Tanner, I'm going to need you to go down and check on Tegan.
But, I don't think we've gotten one negative text from her.
Comically negative that she was griping that the other team was winning or whatever.
Yes, that's just her competitive nature coming out. But so that just makes you feel so good. And then
we did get several of those.
Yes, and then we get on the plane, and then you send that text that's all mushy to them. And so then I'm crying on the plane.
I'm sorry. I was feeling the emotions.
So then I'm crying.
Weeping in the seat. Good old. I fully expected a flight attendant to come by. Are y'all okay?
I know. Yeah.
Is everything all right?
I was one of them. We don't care.
Okay.
So, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
noted.
No, might need to take that out.
Oh, it's staying in.
So the only reason I can say that is because I was one for several years. So you sent that text, and so then we're crying again, and then we get the text from Tanner that threw us right back into reality.
Oh, yeah.
And yes.
So,
and this is a shout out to Rick's.
Yeah. So Phil Davis, if you're listening to this one, shout out to you for coming with this idea. We're going to do this in each episode.
If we have
Well,
one,
we're not going
yes,
to fabricate
but
it, but
yes.
if there is one and it's texts from our kids.
Yeah. So
Remember, emotional.
yeah. We were so emotional,
From
so
Tanner.
proud. Yeah.
Can you send me your Gmail password so I can log into YouTube TV?
Yeah. That just threw us right back into business reality.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that post that people say, if you want your kids to text or call you, change your Netflix password. So, yeah. I'm glad they were getting all their entertainment set up. So,
And to be fair to our kids, yes, that is a funny text. That is, at least Tanner has always been a consistent texter and caller. We've been surprised by Tegan. Well, there it is. So we get home, drive home. I'm not going to narrate the drive home. It's the tollway and there wasn't traffic. So apparently we were in another universe when we did that. We come in. There's only one person to talk to, and it's not a person.
and he
didn't come out right away.
He didn't come out for a while, but then he did, and then he did not leave our sides the entire day, night. He's in here right now. So.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy cat.
But.
So this is the beginning of it. I mean, that was, that's talking about the kids. That's talking about them in college. We're about to have to figure out how to do the real life, right? We'll still be interactive, but now they're there.
Yeah.
And so, silly thing. Well, that's what we're doing here. We're going to try to figure that out together. It has been weird this week. It has been weird, and then it's been not weird at times. We've got plenty of time and plenty of episodes to talk about that. It's just, this is that moment. They're dropped off. They're at school. And now we're the empty nest.
Yes, we are.
Oh, I thought you were about to cry.
No. I held it together pretty well.
You didn't use your
episode.
whatever housewives triangle.
I used my triangle a couple of times, but I held it together. So, yeah, no. I mean, it is. I have noticed that I have to turn on something like listen to a podcast on my phone while I'm in the house, have something on because it is the loud quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the house does have a quiet to it that is overwhelmingly loud, hence the name. Yeah. Well, I do want to. I know that kind of brings us to the end of today. Not that we had an agenda or anything like that. Just wanted to talk to each other and tell some stories and hit record and share it with all of y'all. I do want to the business side of it. I do want to reinforce. Hey, this is an episode. This is a podcast that we want y'all's engagement on, and so we want you to be a part of the Loud Quiet in doing so. So message us again. It's the loudquietpod@gmail.com. It's also on Facebook, and then the Q&A option there in Spotify as well. So want to hear your questions.
Yeah.
Want to share your tips.
Yeah. If you have a topic that you want us to explore, please let us know. If you'd like to be a future guest, please let us know.
We have a few of you queued up already.
Yes.
Get ready. If you're listening to this, we're going to be hitting you up to be a guest.
Yeah. But again, y'all, thanks for listening. And
we haven't come up with a good closure yet.
no.
We will. This is only episode 2, so we're proving that we're still not professionals. But it is. It was just another great time. You know what? A great time to be with you, recording another episode of The Loud Quiet.
Living the Empty Nest.